Hello box setters, welcome to the instruction video for the base or stand for the cricket paper toy. And what we've got here is one I prepared earlier. There's the wickets just going in off camera there, going into the base. Don't worry, I'll show them. There you go, there you can see them. So we've got the wickets there in the pitch. And that's the top of it and the back. And we've got some bails there that do sort of balance on the top, or you can stick them on top. Yeah, we've got our scissors ready, we've got sellotape to the right there. There's 3 wickets, 2 bails, and then the base. So as always, I'm showing you, there's the little instructions on there, the cut lines and the fold lines to follow. And yeah, let's cut straight down the middle of this first, so we can separate those bits, those elements, those components. So I'm going to cut right down the middle and start with the pitch first and leave the stumps and the bails until later. There is a tricky bit on here. Those 3 axes need cutting out, they're right in the middle. So what we'll need is something to cut onto, because we're going to use a craft knife. And if you've never used a craft knife before, get somebody who owns one to help you with it. So basically, sort of if you're a kid or if you're young, then get somebody older than you to help you with it, because look, they're very sharp. But then all you need to do is cut straight down those lines. I've got an old cutting mat there, one that's been with me for years and years. Yeah, use something like that or similar, like some thick cardboard, so that you don't cut through onto your best dining table. But yeah, once you've done that, that's just the 3 axes that need cutting, and then you can use a pencil, or I'm using my little finger to push through, so you get a hole there that our stumps will slot into and stand up in. And then once we've done that, my final little pinky popping through, then we're ready to cut the base out. We'll move that to one side, we don't need that anymore. And keeping those scissors nice and straight, that's straight out in front of us and sort of straight level in front of us as well. And we'll start to cut around our base. If you keep them straight, then you use your non-cutting hand to move the paper around the scissors, and then you get some nice smooth curves. And it helps get into some of those tricky bits as well. If you know that your scissors can just stay still, all your scissors need to do is move down and snip through the paper, like so. And there's no, as always with these, there's no set order to do them in. You could have cut the wickets and the bails out first, but if you follow along to this video, we're starting with the base. The base is the biggest of those components, the biggest of those pieces that we're cutting out, the craft pieces. And we're just cutting round there. You can see the numbers there. That's going to be the where the numbers and the box head Papercraft's logo is. That's they're going to be the ends of the base, the ends of the stand that our cricket paper toy can go on. Very similar to some of the other sports stands that I've got on my website that you can get. There's the American footballers. They've got the posts for the extra point, the big yellow H. There's the football one as well. That's got football or soccer. That's got posts on it as well, and also rugby. That's got the rugby posts on them as well. But now we've finished cutting everything out on the base, and we've just got a few things to fold here. We've got both ends. There's one being done, and some little tabs there to stick into the sticking to the front, and it's the same at the other end as well. Because what we're actually going to do is we're going to curve the other sides, the sides of the wickets. We're going to curve and bend the paper round, and I'll show you how I'll do that in a bit once I've finished folding that end as well. So this end here, we're going to curve it round. Now you can use a pencil, or you can do what I'm doing here, which is just sort of rolling the paper over itself. So you're not making a crease or a fold, you're just bending the paper around, and you can see that the paper then bends around the curves that are on the end. I've got my handy dandy trusted tape dispenser there. So it's got a nice heavy base to the tape dispenser. So you can just use one hand to pull off a little bit of tape, and that helps to, in the other hand you can hold the paper toy, and then there you can see, you might have to make sort of like a few adjustments with that base to bend it around, like I'm demonstrating here. You can bend it around roll it around a pencil as well. You can take a pencil and just sort of like roll it into the paper, and that'll get you a nice curve as well. And we just need a couple more bits of tape to finish it off. And then we've got our little stand to pop our paper toy cricketer on. But first we're going to be putting some stumps in there. There you go, you can see those the cut marks that we made for the stumps as well. So we're going to separate some of these elements as well. We're going to trim the bails off first, and we'll do those, and then we'll come back to the stumps. And sorry, a brief break in recording there. The camera stopped while I was making up that first bail, but here we go, straight in with the second bail, and you can see I've separated them both, and there's some little fine tricky parts, just some little, I guess what makes them tricky is that the cut's quite small, so you want to try and be careful and stick nice and tight to those cut lines. But it's the same, using the same sort of method or technique for making those cut lines anyway. Just keep your scissors nice and straight, and try and, as much as you can, I've bent the scissors around a little bit there, but try and keep your scissors out straight in front of you. And the folding's maybe a little bit tricky as well, because there's lots of little folds in there. But hey, look, if my big sausage fingers can do it, so can yours. And so we've got the sides to sort of tuck in and fold there. Got some tabs, plenty of tabs there to help us sort of make up the cuboid shape that we're 3D shape that we're making. Got all those little tabs. Fold it over, make sure you've not missed any. Sort of there's 4 big ones down the middle, and then there's quite a few little ones all the way around. Basically, sort of if you fold the, just making those last few there. If you fold it all the way around like that, you'll see that there's a tab that tucks on the inside there, so you get four sides to your little bail. A little bit of tape to fold over there, and then we can tuck those in. So the one that's got sort of like 3 tabs in, I'll fold the 2 tabs into each other and then push those into the rectangle, and then that one folds on top. I mean, we could get away with just that one on the top, but it just makes the because the shape is so small, it just makes it a little bit more sturdy, having those extra bits that tuck inside like that, and gets rid of any gaps as well, so it looks like a solid shape gives it more solid shape and feel to it. So we've got our two bells there already. I'll just go through cutting out one wicket, because I'm sure by the time you've done one, you'll be an expert on two, on doing the other two. So I'll go through one, and if you need to look through the video again or pause it as you're doing it, then by all means do that. There's no rush to sort of follow the speed at which I'm doing this. You take your time with cutting these shapes out. There's no rush. There's no time limit to it. You can even cut things out and have a pause halfway through if you like, and come back to the video later. But try and keep a nice clean surface as well. Keep all your sort of like the little bits of rubbish out to one side. Make a nice little rubbish pile. And again, we've got, like with the bales, we've got some tricky little cuts to make on either side, either end there. And just making the last of those cuts, and then we can fold it out. It folds up basically like a longer bale, I guess. We've just got some long folds to make down the middle there. That's the end tab that tucks in, and then we've got some around the middle as well to make. And yeah, make your folds sort of like how you feel comfortable. I'm doing it so that you can, in the air, as it were, so you can sort of get a clearer view of things rather than me folding on the table. But there you can see those little tabs that I'm folding, just like I folded for the bales. Little folds on either end, and they're just going to tuck inside either end of the stump. There we go, just bend that round, tuck that tab on the inside so we get our cuboid, long cuboid shape. And you don't necessarily need a big long piece of tape to stick along the length of the stump. I've just put a little bit of tape in the middle there. I think I've lost one of the tabs. One of the tabs sort of got stuck in there, so that's all right. We'll just leave that in there, and we'll fold up and tuck the other tab in there, and then just put a bit of tape on the top, like so. And then we'll do the same with the other side as well. Tuck that tab in, and then those other bits can sort of squish and fold inside as well, like that. And a little bit of tape from a handy dandy tape dispenser on the top of that one. And there we've got our first stump. So I'll leave you to cut out the other two. I'll show you how that slots nicely into there and goes through to the bottom. You can push it through a lot and then just sort of flatten it down by pushing the pitch down. But there's the first of our stumps. Got two more to do, and we've got the bales there as well. Now magically what's going to appear on your screen is the other tip, the one that I prepared earlier, just so you can see that we've got all our stumps there, how they push through the bottom of the base, like so, and how our bales balance nicely on the top. So happy crafting, box headers, enjoy.